I hope everyone is well. So here is part 7 of the Virginia Giuffre deposition. And yeah, I just wanted to do a bit of a check-in really. So the deposition is a lot bigger than what I first thought. And the reason for that is there's kind of 4 pages per page. So as you're kind of scrolling through, even though you think it's less pages, there's actually 4 pages kind of per page, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a lot bigger than what I thought, but again, I'm really enjoying doing it. So hopefully you guys are too. So yeah, let me know of any thoughts, any comments, any other depositions as well that you guys are interested in. If there's any other documents or kind of legal documents that you would like me to look into to then narrate, then do let me know. Any comments, always welcome, and obviously feedback as well. So I will be doing a thoughts video on Virginia's deposition in the same way I did for Ghislaine Maxwell. So look out for that over the next week or so. The other thing that I'm going to be introducing to my channel is kind of like a week, every 2 weeks, kind of update videos on the Ghislaine Maxwell case. Obviously the trial for her is next year in 2021, in July, I believe. So I think what I'm going to do is I keep an eye on the news all the time. Any kind of things that I think is worth reporting, worth kind of speaking about to get a conversation going, then I will obviously cover off. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do one of those kind of once every 2 weeks, something like that, just to keep updated with the case itself. So also look out for that. So coming up on my YouTube channel, there will obviously be more depositions, more legal documents. I also have some reviews coming up on things like a really cheap drone, a Whoop band that basically tracks your sleep. So yeah, on Full of Shiz, literally, it literally is going to be full of that. It's full of shiz that I find that hopefully I can share with you guys. So do subscribe to my channel if you would like to, like and subscribe, and yeah, I will see you very soon for the next video. And did you come back before that? No. Did you ever tell Sharon Churchill or Sharon White or Marianne Strong that you were going on a trip to New York in 2011? No. Is it your contention that Ghislaine Maxwell sexually trafficked you to famous people? If you have a document in front of you that could show me so I could see what you're talking about, yes. I'm asking you, is it your contention that Ghislaine Maxwell sexually trafficked you to famous people? Could you be more specific? Like, are we talking about rock stars or royalty or politically connected and financially powerful people? Yes. Okay, to whom did Ghislaine Maxwell sexually traffic you? You have to understand that Giuffre and Ghislaine are joined hip by hip, okay? So they both trafficked me. Ghislaine brought me in for the purpose of being trafficked. Giuffre was just as a part of it as she was. She was just as a part of it as he was. They trafficked me to many people, and to be honest, there is people I could name, and then there's people that are just a blur. There was so much happening. Okay, please name a person that Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to go have sex with. Blank. Okay, who else? As a whole, they both trafficked me to people. It was under both of their direction. So it's not easy just to say Ghislaine. When I say they, I mean both of them. Okay, well, I need you to say a time when Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to go have sex with another person. So can you please tell me to whom Ghislaine Maxwell asked you to go have sex with another person? Mr. Edwards, object to the form. Who else? I'm going to continue to tell you that they both directed me to do it. It was part of my training. They both told me, you've got tickets to go here. This is who you're meeting and this is what you're doing. So blank is another one. Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to go have sex with blank. Mr. Edwards, object to the form to the extent it mischaracterised her testimony. I'm trying to tell you that they both did. Ghislaine and Giuffre both directed me. They both paid me and they both directed me. All right, when did Ghislaine Maxwell direct you to go have sex with blank? Mr. Edwards, object to the form, same objection. I don't know the time. I could tell you the place. I don't know the time. What words did Ghislaine Maxwell use in talking to you and asking you to go have sex with blank? We're sending you to a gentleman. We want you to show him a good time. We want you to do exactly what you would do for Giuffre to him. Keep him happy. I can't remember her exact words, and I'm not going to put words in my mouth to make it sound like what she said, but it was all along those lines. Those are words that Ghislaine Maxwell used to you in directing you to go have sex with blank. Mr. Edwards, object to the form, mischaracterised her testimony. Along those lines, yes. Okay, where were you located when she used those words with you? It could have been Palm Beach, it could have been New York. You don't recall? I don't recall. Okay, how old were you when she used those words to you? Mr. Edwards, object to the form, mischaracterises her testimony. I don't know, I think I was 17. But you're not sure? Well, it was in the beginning, like after my training. Blank were the two first people I was sent out to. Okay, well, I was asking about blank, okay? Right, that's what I'm saying. If you want me to categorically tell you when it happened and why I think I was 17, because those were the two first people I was sent to. So you don't actually recall the conversation regarding blank. You don't recall where you were, right? I can't picture if it was I know it was either New York or Palm Beach. I don't remember exactly which one. You don't recall exactly what words were used by Ghislaine Maxwell in speaking to you, correct? I remember the tone that she used, the type of words that she used. I can't word for word replay what she said. All right, and so when in time was blank? Blank was months, 6 months, I'm not too sure. 6 months what? Before blank. I don't know, I think I met Prince Andrew in 2001 and Glenn Dubbin and Stephen Kaufman were, like I said, the first people I was sent out to after my training. So I don't know, I'm not going to give you an exact time if I don't know it. I asked you the relative order, and I'm trying to give you it. And where does Alan Dershowitz fit into that group of people? Same, I can't tell you piece by piece who I know Glenn Dubbin was first. Okay, and I know Stephen Kaufman was one of the first I was sent to. Alan Dershowitz could have been between there. Between Glenn and Stephen. The first time I was with Alan Dershowitz was in New York, so I wasn't actually sent to him. It actually happened at one of Giuffre's residences. Miss Macaulay left the deposition. So it's very hard for me to chronologically give you each person individually. Okay, name the other politically connected and financially powerful people that Ghislaine Maxwell told you to go have sex with. Again, I'm going to tell you they, because that's how it went. They instructed me to go to George Mitchell, Jean-Luc Brunel, Bill Richardson, another prince that I don't know his name, a guy that owns a hotel, a really large hotel chain. I can't remember which hotel it was. Marvin Minsky. There was, another foreign president. I can't remember his name. He was Spanish. There's a whole bunch of them that it's hard for me to remember all of them. I was told to do something by these people constantly, my whole life revolved around just pleasing these men and keeping Ghislaine and Giuffre happy. Their whole entire lives revolved around sex. They call massages sex. They call modelling sex. I asked you the names for people. Are you going to tell me any other names, or is that all of them? I'm trying to think. That's the answer I'm trying to give to you. It's that it's so hard to just keep naming and naming and naming. All right. A lot of times I'd be introduced to them. I didn't. If you're going to tell me more names, please continue your answer. I'm trying to think. If you're just going to talk, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Okay, let's take a break and then you can think over the break. The videographer, we're off the record at 2:01. Recess taken from 2:01 to 2:09 p.m. Videographer, we're back on the record at 2:09. Ms. Giuffre, you have filed a lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell, correct? Yes. You understand her to be my client, correct? Yes. I'm here today to talk to you about your allegations against Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you understand that? Yes. I want you to tell me a single time that you recall Ghislaine Maxwell using words to you and directing you to go have sex with another person. Mr. Edwards, object. Not anybody else, Ghislaine Maxwell. Mr. Edwards, objection. Asked and answered. To the extent that she can answer the question, I'd ask that she answer the question. I have answered the question. The question that you're asking me is Ghislaine. And Ghislaine and Giuffre worked together. They were one and the same of persons. They both directed me to do this. They both directed me to report back to them. They were both the same. You cannot recall a single instance in which Ghislaine Maxwell alone directed you to have sex with another person. I have to correct, believe, Mr. Edwards, object. I am going to finish my question. Correct, Mr. Edwards. Are you finished with your question? Miss Manager. Now you may make your objection and then she may answer. Mr. Edwards. Okay, objection. Argumentative. Harassing for absolutely no reason. Mischaracterising the witness's testimony. Answer if you can. I have given you the names of the people that Ghislaine herself has told me to go be sex trafficked to, along with Giuffre Epstein, okay? She's the one who brought me to Giuffre Epstein to be trafficked in the fucking first place. So, I've given you as much information as I possibly can to let you know what she was about, who she told me to go with, what she wanted me to do. That is what I am stating, and that's what I previously stated to you. And these names that you have just given are people to whom Ghislaine Maxwell alone told you to go have sex. Mr. Edwards, objection. Mischaracterisation. Ghislaine and Giuffre, I don't know how many times you want me to keep answering this question. Both told me to do this, okay? They both sent me to these people. How many times do you want me to answer this? I think you're answering a different question, so that's why I'm going to ask you again. I am not asking you anything about a time when Giuffre and Ghislaine together told you to go do something. I'm asking you to name a single time during which Ghislaine Maxwell, acting alone, directed you to go have sex with another person. Mr. Edwards, objection. Asked and answered, harassing, argumentative. I've given you the names of the people that Ghislaine instructed me to go have sexual relations with. I am not discluding the fact that Giuffre also told me. Ghislaine told me from her mouth to do these things. Giuffre told me from his mouth to do these things with these people. Ghislaine instructed me to do the things that I did with Giuffre Epstein on the very first meeting that I had with him. She brought me there under the preclusion that I was going to be trained as a masseuse and that she instructed me to take off my clothes and to give oral sex to Giuffre Epstein. Excuse me, I've asked you for the names. I've just given you a name. Giuffre Epstein is a big name. All right. She instructed me on that one. So you're saying, Mr. Edwards, the witness is finishing her answer right now. She's in the process of explaining one of the people Ghislaine told her to have sex with. So you're saying Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to have sex with Jeffrey Epstein? Correct. Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to have sex with Glenn Dobbin? Correct. What words did Ghislaine Maxwell tell you to have sex with Glenn Dobbin? It was the same all the time, all right? They want me to go provide these men with a massage. And when they say massage, that means erotic, okay? That's their term for it. I think there are plenty of other witnesses that can attest to what massage actually means. And I'm telling you that Ghislaine told me to go to blank and give him a massage, which means sex. Okay, so blank. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a massage to blank. Correct. That's your testimony. That is my testimony. All right. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to go give a massage to blank, correct? Correct. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a massage to blank, correct? Correct. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a massage to blank, correct? Correct. When did Ghislaine Maxwell tell you to give a massage to blank? I don't know dates. Where were you? When it happened? When Ghislaine Maxwell used the words, go give a massage to Bill Richardson, where were you? Mr. Edwards, object to the form, mischaracterises her testimony. I can't tell you where we were. I know where I was sent to. I don't know where we were when she told me to do that. Where were you sent to? New Mexico. By Ghislaine Maxwell. Mr. Edwards, object to the form, mischaracterises her testimony again. Are you smiling at me because... No, I'm asking you to answer the question. I have answered the question. I was sent to New Mexico. Okay, where were you sent from? I already answered that. I don't know where I was sent from. Okay. I was flying everywhere with these people. Where were you sent by Ghislaine Maxwell to have sex with blank? Mr. Edwards, object to the form. Mischaracterised her testimony. Many places. Ghislaine Maxwell sent you to many places to have sex with blank. Mr. Edwards, object to the form. It happened at many places, yes. You had sex with blank blank at many places is what you're saying, correct? I was sent to blank at many places to have sex with him. When did Ghislaine Maxwell send you to a place to have sex with blank? You are asking, Mr. Edwards, for me to answer the impossible. All right. When did Ghislaine Maxwell send you to have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain? Mr. Edwards, object to the form, mischaracterisation. I'm going to keep answering the questions the same way I keep answering them. I don't know where it was when she said to go do this. Okay. Where were you sent to have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain by Ghislaine Maxwell? Mr. Edwards, object to the form. I believe that was one time in France. Which time in France? I believe it was around the same time that Naomi Campbell had a birthday party. Where did you have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain in France around the time of Naomi Campbell's birthday party? In his own Cabana townhouse thing. It was part of a hotel, but I wouldn't call it a hotel. Jeffrey was staying there, Ghislaine was staying there, Emmy was staying there, I was staying there, this other guy was staying there, I don't know his name. I was instructed by Ghislaine to go and give him an erotic massage. She used the words erotic massage. No, that's my word. The word massage is what they would use. That's their code word. Was she in the room when you gave this erotic massage to the owner of a large hotel chain? No, she was not in the room. She was in another cabana. And other than telling you to give the owner of this large hotel chain a massage, do you remember any other words she used to you to direct you in what you should do? Not at the time, no. Where were you and where was Ms. Maxwell when she directed you to have sex with Marvin Minsky? Mr. Edwards, object to the form. I don't know. Where did you go to have sex with Marvin Minsky? I believe it was the US Virgin Islands. Jeffrey Epstein's island in the US Virgin Islands. And when was that? I don't know. Do you have any time of year? No. Do you know how old you were? No. Other than Glenn Dobbin, Stephen Kaufman, Prince Andrew, Jean-Luc Brunel, Bill Richardson, another prince, the large hotel chain owner, and Marvin Minsky, is there anyone else that Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to go have sex with? I am definitely sure there is, but can I remember everybody's name? No. Okay. Can you remember anything else about them? Look, I've given you what I know right now, I'm sorry. This is very hard for me and very frustrating to have to go over this. I don't recall all of the people. There was a large amount of people that I was sent to. Do you have any notes of all of these people that you were sent to? No, I don't. Where are your notes? I burned them. When did you burn them? In a bonfire when I lived at Tidsville. Because I was sick of going through this shit. Did you have lawyers who were representing you at the time you built a bonfire and burnt these notes? I've been represented for a long time, but it was not under the instruction of my lawyers to do this. My husband and I were pretty spiritual people, and we believed that these memories were worth burning. So you burned notes of the men with whom you had sex while you were represented by counsel in litigation, correct? Objection. This wasn't anything that was a public document. This was my own private journal, and I didn't want it anymore, so we burned it. When did you write your journal? Just over time. I started writing it probably in, I don't know, I can't speculate, 2012, 2011? So you did not write this journal at the time it happened? No. You started writing this journal approximately a decade after you claim you finished being sexually trafficked, correct? Yes. And you started writing a journal after you had a lawyer, correct? Correct. Including Mr. Edwards, who is sitting right here, correct? Correct. What did that journal look like? It was green. And what else? It was just a spiral notebook. Okay, and what did you put into that green spiral notebook? Bad memories. Things I've gone through, lots of things, you know. I can't tell you, there was a lot of pages. It was over 300 pages in that book. Did you ever show that book to your lawyers? No. Did you show that book to anyone? My husband. Did you show it to anyone else besides your husband? No. Did you tear out pages and give them to Sharon Churcher? No, I wrote those pages that you're talking about. I wrote for her specifically. She wanted to know about the Prince Andrew incident. So that's a different piece of paper. Yeah, that's just random paper. So you had a green spiral notebook that you began sometime in 2011 or 2012, in which you wrote down your recollections about what had happened to you, and you burned that in a bonfire in 2013. Did I get that right? You got that right. And you have no other names of people to whom you claim Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to have sex, correct? At this time, no. Is there any document that would refresh your recollection that you could look at? If you have a document you'd like to show me, I would be glad to look at it and tell you the names I recognise off of that. I'm just asking you if there's a document you know of that has this list of names in it. Not in front of me, no. Where is the original of the photograph that has been widely circulated in the press of you with Prince Andrew? I probably still have it. It's not in my possession right now. Where is it? Probably in some storage boxes. Where? In Sydney? Where in Sydney? At some families' houses, we got the boxes shipped to Australia, and they were picked up off the porch by my nephews and brought to their house. Which is where? In Sydney. Where in Sydney? Blank. And who lives in that house? Well, it's owned by my mother-in-law and father-in-law, but my nephews live in the house. What are their names? I'm not giving you the names of my nephews. What's the address of the house? Why would you want that? I want to know where the photograph is. I'm asking you where the photograph is, and you've just told me it's somewhere in blank. Yes. So where in blank is the photograph located? If I can't 100% say that the photograph is there, it could be at my house that I presently live in. I'm not going to give you the address of my nephew's residence. When is the last time you saw the photograph in person? When I packed and left America. Colorado? Yes. All right, so you had that photograph here with you in Colorado? Yes. What's on the back of the photograph? I'm sorry? Is there anything on the back of the photograph? There's like the date it was printed, but no writing or anything. Okay, does it say where it was printed? I don't believe so. I think I don't remember. I just remember there's a date on it. Whose camera was it taken with? My little yellow Kodak camera. Who took the picture? Jeffrey Epstein. And where did you have it developed? I believe when I got back to America. So where? I don't know. Palm Beach? I don't know. What is the date the photograph was printed? I believe it's in March 2001. Okay. But that's just off of my photographic memory. It could be different, but I think it's March 2001. You have a photographic memory. I'm not saying I have a photographic memory, but if I'd look at the back of the photo and I remember what it says, I believe it was March 2001. Did the photograph ever leave your possession for a while? I gave it to the FBI. Okay, and when did you get it back? When they took copies of it. When was that? 2011. When they came to interview you? Yes. So from 2011 until you left Colorado, it was in your personal possession? Yes. What other documents related to this case are in that storage boxes in Australia? Objection. Documents related to this case? I don't know, I really can't tell you. I mean, there's 7 boxes full of Nerf guns, my kids' toys, photos. I don't know what other documents would be in there. Did anyone search those documents after you received discovery requests from us in this case? I haven't been able to obtain those boxes. I can't get them sent back up to me. It's going to cost me a large amount of money. And right now I'm trying to look after my family, so I'm not able to afford to get them up. You live in Australia, correct? I do. Okay. How far away are the boxes from where you live in Australia? Sydney is down here at the bottom. Cairns is up here at the top. Okay. It's probably a 6-day drive. Did you fly here through Sydney? No. Have you been to Sydney since you've moved back to Australia? I flew into Sydney with my 3 kids, but it was a connecting flight to Brisbane. Did you ask your nephews or anyone else to search those boxes in response to discovery requests that we issued in this case? They are my nephews. I would never let them look at those. Other than your green spiral notebook, what else did you burn in this bonfire in 2013? That was it. That's the only thing. Yes. Did you use wood? Yes. Charcoal? My husband built the bonfire out of wood and I don't know what else he put in it. He's the one who always makes the fires, not me. Who else was present? Just him and I. Were your kids there? No, they were inside sleeping. And what beach was this? It wasn't a beach, it was in my backyard. What's your address? At that time? Blank. Blank? Yes. Who were your neighbours? Sweet people. Ray and I could look on my phone if you want. No, thank you. Do they still live there? Yes. Do you keep in touch with them? Last time I talked to them was a few months ago. Did they see the fire? They've seen many fires that we've had. We've had lots of bonfires there. Did you ever ride in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell acting as a pilot of the helicopter? Yes. Who else was on the flight? I've been on the helicopter with her plenty of times. I can't mention how many people were on the helicopter at the same time. How many times? I don't know. Do you have helicopter records that you could show me? I'm asking you how many times you were on the helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell acting as the pilot. It's impossible for me to answer the question without having the actual physical records in front of me. I'm asking you to look into your memory and tell me how many times you recall being on a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell at the pilot seat. There is no number I can give you. There's plenty of times I've been on her helicopter. Where did you go from and to on a helicopter? I believe it was, don't quote me on this because I get confused on the islands there. I want to say it was St John's. It could have been St Bart's. St John's or St Bart's, and then we would fly straight to Jeffreys Island. Okay, did you ever go anywhere else on the helicopter? No. Were you ever on the helicopter with blank blank and Ghislaine Maxwell as the pilot of the helicopter? No. Were you ever on the helicopter with blank blank and Ghislaine Maxwell as the pilot? No. Do you recall telling Sharon Churcher that you were? No. Did you see the press article in which Sharon Churcher reported that you were? Objection. I'd just ask that if you're going to ask this witness about a specific article, I'd like for her to see the article. Otherwise, she's not going to testify about it. If you have something to show her, then please. Do you recall seeing a press article in which Sharon Churcher reported that you were on a helicopter with blank and Ghislaine Maxwell as the pilot? Mr. Edwards, again, I'll let you answer the question once she's looking at the document that you're being asked about. You're not letting her answer a question about whether she recalls a particular press statement. Mr. Edwards, I will let her answer every question about the press statement as long as she sees the press statement. I'm okay with that. She can answer all of them. No, there is a rule of civil procedure that allows you to direct a witness not to answer a question when there's a claim of privilege. What privilege are you claiming to direct her not to answer this question? Mr. Edwards, I thought that you wanted accurate answers from this witness. I asked her if she recalled something. Mr. Edwards, if the sole purpose is to harass her, I asked her if she recalled something. Mr. Edwards, then that's just not going to be what's happening today. All right, so you're refusing to answer a question about whether you recall a particular press statement. Mr. Edwards, is that true? Mr. Edwards, she is not refusing to answer any questions. I'm not refusing to answer. I just want to see the article you're talking about so I can be clear in my statement. Do you recall seeing a press article written by Sharon Churcher reporting that you flew on a helicopter with blank and Ghislaine Maxwell as the pilot? No, I do not recall reading a press article saying that I was on a helicopter with blank blank as Ghislaine. is the pilot. Do you recall telling Sharon Churcher that you had conversations with blank regarding him flying on a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell? I believe that it was taken out of context. Ghislaine told me that she flew blank blank in, and Ghislaine likes to talk a lot of stuff that sounds fantastical, and whether it's true or not, that is what I do recall telling Sharon Churcher. So you told Sharon Churcher that Ghislaine Maxwell is the one who told you that she flew blank blank in the helicopter. I told Sharon Churcher that Ghislaine flew blank onto the island based upon what Ghislaine had told me. Not based upon what blank had told you, correct? Correct. Did you ever ask Sharon Churcher to correct anything that was printed under her name concerning your stories to Sharon Churcher? I wasn't given those stories to read before they were printed. After they were printed, did you read them? I tried to stay away from them. They were very hard. You have to understand it was a very hard time for me and my husband to have this public. We didn't think it was going to be this publicly announced and that big. So we turned off the news and we stopped reading so many things. You didn't read the articles about your stories to Sharon Churcher. I've read some articles. Let me just finish. You did not read the articles published by Sharon Churcher about your stories to Sharon Churcher. I have read some articles about what Sharon Churcher wrote, and a lot of the stuff that she writes, she takes things from my own mouth and changes them into her own words, as journalists do. And I never came back to her and told her to correct anything. What was done was done. There was nothing else I could do.